But for the most part of my career, my test level was between 500 and 600, and it never really had to go above that.
You get to a point in your career where you don't need that anymore. You know, you built enough to where, 600, 700, whatever, that's 5. That's enough to still make small jumps versus doing this large amount that you just don't need anymore. And then you ruin your physique.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you feel, since you and Matt have done this long enough, I mean, I know I did, I found the things that I was like, these are the things that I like to take in the off season. Like my off season was always like, it was usually sust, anadrol, and then maybe it was like EQ or it was NPP. And then my pre-contest was always very similar. Like it was always like test, EQ, and then the EQ would get dropped, and it was Masteron. And sometimes Trend would get added in Primo, and like then you add in rolls toward, but what?
Sometimes Trend?
Yeah, I didn't always add in Trend pre-contest.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes Trend.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I think, I think my favorite is for the off season. I don't do orals in the off season. I don't like orals in the off season. Now, because we'll do orals in prep. So I personally don't want to do any orals in the off season going into a prep. My version of an off season, obviously we're going to touch shit, but it's as much, it's almost to stay healthy in a healthy range, because we all know when you get in a prep, shit goes hard a little bit.
Yeah,
it is. So for me, I like to do test, EQ with a little MPP, but the dosages always stay very moderate. I don't like to push too high, and then depending on the time frame, it might just go right into the prep.
Yeah,
or we'll take a good little break in between, and then start prep. When you're in prep, you got your Winstrol, you got your
Anavar, Proviron. Yeah.
It's what would be the point of, taking more orals in the off season
and not giving your body a break.
At the little bit of break before you got to take all these other. And I've always just found I'd be fine without it. So
yeah. Now, did you ever utilize because we're talking about orals? I'm just asking because I know some people have. I never did, but it always intrigued me to actually have. Did I? I'm not sure, but I've heard of people when they start carbing up pre-contest, add in anadrol, and I've heard it works wonders. I've never done it, but I've heard it works crazy.
I've heard nothing but good things.
Me
but
too.
I've never.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how that works. I've never done it. Yeah, so it's funny though. Like I think you're right. It's almost like when you in the off season, when you're a pro, when you get to the weight that you want to get to, it's almost like you find your TRT dosage to keep you where you're at, and almost just like recomp the body that you have, and then right into the pre-contest.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like the more preps you do, even the older you get, you find yourself being able to get away with doing less.
100%.
Still getting the shape as if you were doing double when you were younger.
Because you have that muscle maturity and you get that density to your muscle where you don't need because now you don't need the amount of anabolics to build, because now you're just trying to maintain, right? It's the difference between getting to the top of the sport and maintaining it, right? The difference of getting there and having stamina. So, when you're not taking the amount of drugs, being sponsored by Blackstone, I have their Formula 19 and the protein and the glutamine, the creatine, and all I'm recovering like that. People don't realize how much the super subs help you recover. And crazy. I'm not, and I'm trying to train like a fucking intense motherfucker that's still at the top of bodybuilding, and I'm recovering horribly because I'm eating 3 times a day.
That's also a big problem too. You're not eating.
And my buddy Joe says it all the time. He goes, "What do you expect?" He has no sympathy for me. He's like, "What do you expect?"
Yeah, does the supplements play a role?
Yeah.
Yes, but if you're not eating enough, you're fucking.
I know.